What is up, everybody? It's Cody with Blood Money MMA Bets, and I'm back with another full card breakdown. This is for UFC Charlotte, Almeida versus Rozenstruik. It's going to be a pretty good card. We just lost another fight off of it. Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill. They made that the main event for next week's card, I believe. Like anybody asked for 5 rounds of that fight, but we still got some good fights on this card. There's still some good betting spots. You get a lot of big favorites on this card, but a lot of big favorites that probably should pull through and get the victory, and some of them pretty easy. But yeah, man, before we get into that full card breakdown, I just want to have everybody please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Check out the description. You can find my Patreon, which is $10 a month. You'll get all my early picks, my DraftKings lineup, my 10 best bets in order of confidence. Just a ton of stuff in there. Then the Discord, Layer Cake Discord, is fun, man. It's a good time. It's free. It's 100% free. Link is in the description. Go in there, have fun, talk crap with people on fight night, have a good time. But yeah, man, join up, have a good time. We're gonna do a quick recap from UFC 288, and then we're gonna get right into this UFC Charlotte card. UFC 288 was not good at all. Worst card I've ever had, actually. It just like anything that could go wrong went wrong in this card except one thing. I went 1-5 for minus 13.15 units. Now, it is my biggest loss ever, but I am betting the most that I've ever bet. So you're going to have that as I go up. It's going to be bigger wins, bigger losses. But it could have been a huge loss, man. My one winning bet was Chaos Williams plus 2.1 units, and that was close. I didn't know which way that was going to go. If it would have went the other way, I couldn't even have complained. Chaos hit him with some big shots in the first 2 rounds, but it was anybody's game right there, anybody's fight. 5 losing bets. First losing bet, minus 3 units. Gilbert Burns hurt his shoulder in the first round, man. Nothing we can do about that. It was just how the night was going. Second losing bet, which is probably top 3 to 5 worst bets I've ever made in my life, and that was Crone Gracie. Me being super old school, man, sometimes I just make dumb stuff like that. Crone Gracie, man, that was terrible, dude. Like, he was off 4 years. You didn't learn how to like change levels. He's trying to Crone Gracie, man. I can't even. All right, Marina Rodriguez minus 3.25 units. Bad bet, dude. She's just, I think, just older. I don't know what happened where she cannot defend a takedown no more. Bad bet. Fourth losing bet. Chaos Cejudo parlay. That Cejudo fight was close. Could have went either way. Same thing with Chaos. Fifth losing bet, though, and this was the first bet of the night, and this is how the night started. I figured it was going to end. The Ribeiro under 1.5, which was the biggest bet I had. He was 1 second away from finishing him in the first round, and then in the second round came out and hung around on the fence for 2 minutes and then decided to finish him. So went about 45 seconds over, I believe. So just terrible luck, terrible night, but these nights are going to happen. That's why you got to bet smart, build up a big bankroll for when this happens, and money management. You can't just go out and be like, oh, I think that Gilbert Burns is a lock, and go put like $2,500 or put like 1/4 of your bankroll. As long as you're only having about 5% of your bankroll at most on a bet, you're doing good. And 5% of my bankroll is 500, so I didn't have none of them out there. But no max bets. But man, it's a tough night. I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough night. If Burns and Cejudo would have won, I still would have won like a unit or two. But it is what it is, man. Brings my official bet record to 223 and 158 for plus 86.9 units. And in 2023, I'm 44 and 33 for plus 9.6 units. So I'm still up money overall, still up money on the year. But you know what I mean? It's not really the year that you want, or the outcome that I want, especially from that right there. So I need to do better, man. I need to do better this week. I need to make the right bets and make sharp bets, which I'm going to do. I already had a couple bets in. I beat some good line movement. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the right bets this week. I'm going to get back in. I'm not trying to win 14 units this week or whatever, even though I did win like over 14 units 3 weeks ago. I'm not trying to get it all back this week. I just want to get a little bit back at a time. Let me see. Here we go. So, all right, we're gonna go through this this UFC UFC Charlotte card right here. First fight of the night is Jessica Rose Clark versus Tainara Lisboa. Jessica Rose Clark is 11-8, currently sitting at -150. She's 5'5" with a 67-inch reach, 35 years old. Tainara is 5-2. She's current. Well, it's about a pick 'em right now. I think maybe Jessica Rose Clark is -120 and Lisboa is like -105. She's 32 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Jessica Rose Clark's a pretty well-rounded fighter. She started out a striker, but she's been showing more wrestling and grappling in her last couple fights. The last two did not go her way with Storolenko and Edgar. She took them girls down and was armbarred really quick afterwards. But both them girls, that's what they do. They're jiu-jitsu girls that hit arm bars and chokes. Before that, though, she had a nice win over Jocelyn Edwards and really beat up Sarah Alpar. But she's well-rounded. She's got good striking. Like I said, she's got good takedowns off the fence. She's actually got a decent little double leg, but she's got good top control. She can grapple for the full 3 rounds too. She's got really good cardio and toughness as long as she's not getting her arm broke. Tainara, though, it's weird. She's in the UFC. She's 5-2. One of her losses is to Norma Dumont back in the day. Her first fight, and it was Norma's first fight too. But after that, she's gone 5-1. But if you look at it, she's never beat a girl with a winning record. Like, last girl was 1-4, 0-1, 0-0. She fought a girl that was 2-1. Just 2-1. What, 2 years ago? Not even a year and a half ago, and she got beat by her. So, yeah, never beat a girl with a winning record in MMA, and even in her Muay Thai, I'm sure she has some wins, but them were losses too. I see that she has pretty good Muay Thai. She had good power in both hands. She had a nice Muay Thai clinch with like some knees and elbows. She seems pretty physically strong and tough, but her ground game is such a liability, man. She's basically just a Muay Thai girl. I'm sure she's learned a little bit, but she's not going to be able to compete with Jessica Rose Clark. Where Jessica Rose Clark, if you see the strength of schedule that Jessica Rose Clark's fought, and she's been fighting in the UFC for over 6 years now. She's fought some good girls: Jessica Penny Kienza, Jocelyn Edwards, Stephanie Edgar. These girls, a lot better competition, and she's going to be able to use her grappling in this fight. And she's got the striking to be able to stand and not just totally get beat up and overwhelmed. Like I said, she started a striker. And I think she's going to be able to use her grappling and get not an easy win, but like a dominant win, because Tainara is not going to be able to stop her wrestling. She's not going to be able to submit her with no armbar. So give me Jessica Rose Clark. Not the highest confidence in the world, but I do like her to get the win. Next fight, I have Gabe Green versus Bryan Battle in the welterweight division. Gabe Green is 11-4, currently sitting at -125. He's 30 years old. 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. Bryan Battle 8-2, 28 years old. He's currently sitting at like +100, 6'1" with a 77-inch reach. So you see Bryan Battle is going to be 3 inches taller and have 4 inches of reach. So he's going to be a little bigger, most likely a little skinnier though. Gabe Green, man, gifted Gabe Green. I like him. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's super tough, has super good cardio. He has pretty good boxing with some decent power. You've seen him put Yeon Lioness out. Had a really good fight with Philip Rowe because he's got super good cardio. Really, really good forward pressure, man. He's always backing guys up. He pushes a really good pace with really good cardio. He's got decent offensive and defensive wrestling and BJJ. It's not bad at all. I mean, he survived and did good. Actually, won against Phil Rowe. And just a well-rounded junkyard dog, man. He didn't do too great against Ian Garry, but Ian Garry was just too fast for him, man, and too crisp for him. Gabe Green was coming forward, and he was able to just use that against him. Bryan Battle's not going to be doing that here. Bryan Battle's super tough, though. Watched him fight on The Ultimate Fighter. He won that show. He beat Trayshawn Gore afterwards. Then he knocked out Takashi Soto, but then you've seen him get ragdolled by Renat for 3 rounds. And that's his problem, man. He doesn't really have no grappling. He has decent grappling and decent get-up game. He just doesn't have any takedown defense, and he can just be taken down, held down. And I don't think that the striking is going to be that much different in this fight between these two. I think that Gabe Green is going to throw with a little more power. I think Bryan Battle is going to throw more volume. He's going to be there. He has a really good cardio, but so is Gabe Green. And then Gabe Green's going to win the grappling exchanges. So I really like Gabe Green here. I'm thinking about putting a bet on him. I'm going to see where the line goes. But I just think that he's going to be able to do good in the striking. He may be able to even land a takedown. He's super durable himself. And Bryan Battle likes to out-cardio guys and get his win, but Gabe Green's got excellent cardio. cardio. So yeah, man, give me Gabe Green there, and it should be an excellent fight. My fights are out of order, but it is what it is, man. They moved some of these around because of lost fights and then like the moved around fights. But we got Carlos Ulberg versus Ihor Potieria. Carlos Ulberg is 7-1. He's currently sitting at about -400. 6'4" with a 77-inch reach. Ihor is 19-3. Currently sitting at about +300. 26 years old, where Carlos is 32. He's 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. So Carlos 1 inch of height, 2 inches of reach. Man, Carlos Ulberg, what can we say about him? City kickboxing guy, trains with Izzy, trains with all them savages over there in New Zealand, man. And he's a bad dude. He could be undefeated in his kickboxing and in his MMA fights. The fight with Kennedy, man, he had Kennedy hurt so bad in the first round that he tried to finish him for the whole round and then just basically gassed himself out. We see now how much of a savage Kennedy really is. So that's not really nothing bad. That's a learning experience where hey man, I can't gas myself out. I got to pick my shots, and that's what he's been doing, man. It was a boring fight with Fabio, but he did what he had to do to win because Fabio wouldn't engage with him, throw no punches, so he just picked him apart a little bit, did what he had to do. But with the Tefan and the Nicolay Negermanu fight, man, them dudes that come forward, man, he's able to piece them up. Carlos Ulberg has a sick left jab. He has a sick jab and then a left hook off that. Like he'll jab him and then hit him with the left hook. That's what he did to Negermanu. And Tefan, he just hit him with the jab that rocked him and then hit him with the hooks. But man, he's so dangerous, dude. He's good, man. He's really, really good. He has a lot of weapons. He has a lot of kicks. He's really good at pawing with his left hand to get range. He can come with that straight right down the pipe. He's got excellent kicks. That's what stunned Kennedy, was a head kick. That's what got him rocked off the bat where he went to go try to finish him. His leg kicks are powerful as hell too. You've seen him hit Negermanu with 2 of them, and he was already limping and wanting to switch stances, and then that's when he went upstairs with the big shots, man. He's just really, really, really good, and he's really good at getting guys to chase him and then hitting them with the big shot and just using their aggression against them, and that's what Ihor Potieria does, man. He looked good against 47-year-old Shogun, and was disrespectful after he won, but he didn't look very good against Negermanu, who we were talking about earlier with Carlos Ulberg, when Negermanu threw a beating on him, man. Hit him with some crazy knees out of the clinch and some punches in the second round, but he was beating this kid up the whole time before that, and this kid gassed out a little bit, man. He had 1 round. He had like 3 minutes of 1 round, and then he looked like he slowed down. He went to his corner, was dying, man, just dying, and Negermanu took over on him. But you see this guy's record, it's bogus. He had that win on the Contender Series, which was a nice little knockout win, but before that, he's fighting guys when he was 13-2. This guy's 0-0. He's fighting dudes with losing records when he's 12-2. He's kind of just a bully. You're 11-2 fighting a guy that's 1-9. But the sad thing is a lot of these guys, he wasn't even finishing them. Look, he went to decision with the guy that was 0-0 when he was 10-2 just a couple of years ago. This guy's 0-3. He went to decision with the 0-3 guy in 2019. He does have good punches. He has decent power. You've seen against Shogun. He has powerful leg kicks. He has pretty good kicks, but man, he's reckless and he's not that technical and he doesn't have good gas. He's going to come in. He's going to throw one of them naked leg kicks, powered naked leg kick, and Carlos Ulberg's going to hit him with the power jab, set him up with the 1-2, and he's going to get him out of there, man. First or second round, because Carlos, he can, if you let him be patient, he'll be patient, but if you come at him, he's going to put you down like you did to Negermanu and to Tefan. So give me Carlos Ulberg, man. I think he gets Ihor out of there in that first or second round, and it's going to be a good fight. A lot of action until it's over, and I think it's going to be over pretty quick after that first round. Somewhere in that first round, maybe beginning of the second, but I just seen him hitting with something really, really clean. Next fight that I have is in the men's 135-pound division. We got Cody Stamann against Douglas Silva de Andrade. Cody Stamann is 21-5-1, currently sitting at minus about 150. He's 33 years old, 5'6" with a 64.5-inch reach. Douglas Silva de Andrade is 28-5, 37 years old, 5'7" with a 68.5-inch reach. So Douglas would be 1 inch taller with about a 4-inch reach advantage. And this should be a good fight, good stylistic matchup. You got Cody Stamann, who's a great wrestler. He's got really good boxing, Golden Glove boxing. But he wants to wrestle. If he can fight, if he can fight a guy and he can wrestle him down, mix in his wrestling and striking, then he's gonna get a win most of the time. If he's not fighting Merab, he put up a really good fight with Merab, though. They had a really good back and forth fight. Jimmy Rivera, he couldn't get him to the ground. But people like Eddie Wineland, he was able to show his boxing skills and get the knockout there. He had a really close fight with this Luan Lacerda, but he wasn't able to take this guy down because this guy was a really high-level black belt. So it was more just a boring striking match where he pieced him up. He's got good wins over Kelleher, Alejandro Perez, back in the day, Tom Dukennoy or whatever. If anybody remembers that dude who was supposed to be like the biggest prospect in the world, and he ended up like retiring after that. But yeah, man, he's got good wrestling, college type wrestling. He's got good boxing, throws decent leg kicks, really, really tough. But he's not really dangerous. You know, he ain't finishing anybody but Eddie Wineland. Other than that, it's all decisions. Yeah, you'd have to go back to outside the UFC to find somebody that he actually beat. And he's got really close fights, like split decision, majority draw. Like these are all really close fights. But yeah, man, if he can get his wrestling going, he's really good. But Douglas Silva de Andrade, this dude is really good. He's really well-rounded. You've seen his last fight against Nurmagomedov side. Nurmagomedov, he had a really close fight with him. And then another guy that's, I would say, you know, as good, if not better than Cody Stamann is Sergey Morozov, and he was able to get him out of there. He had a rough first round where he got dropped. Morozov kind of gassed himself out a little bit, came back in the second round, and Silva de Andrade put a beating on him and was able to choke him out. He's fought up at 145 against LaRon Murphy. He's fought Renan Barão. He's fought Petr Yan. He's got a win over Marlon Vera. I mean, the guy is really, really tough. I just go back and forth on this fight. Because like I feel like Douglas Silva de Andrade may be able to stop the wrestling just because he's going to be a little bit bigger. And then on the feet, he's going to be better than Cody Stamann. I feel like he's going to throw way better power, but I do feel like Cody Stamann will be able to land some takedowns. I just don't know if he'll be able to hold him down. I'm going to say that this fight is going to be really, really, really close, man. I'm actually going to go with Douglas Silva de Andrade. I'm not that confident in it. I'd be about the same confidence if I picked Cody Stamann, but I think Andrade can stop the wrestling and land that he has better striking than Cody Stamann. So yeah, man, I'm actually going to take Douglas Silva de Andrade. I'm probably not going to bet him or nothing like that unless the line gets out of control. But I just think that he'd be able to stop the wrestling because he's very physically strong and he has good offensive and defensive grappling. And he'll be able to get the fight back up to his feet because Cody Stamann's jiu-jitsu is not the greatest. He'll land a ton of takedowns, but he don't really hold guys down all that long. But give me Douglas Silva de Andrade to land some big shots, man. It's hard for me to get a good read on that fight. I think it's going to be a really good close fight. So give me the big dog, the dude that's like plus 140 right now. Next fight is in the women's flyweight division. We got Yeon Kim versus Mandy Bohm. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this fight. Yeon Kim is 9-6-2, currently sitting at minus 220. She's 33 years old, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. Mandy Bohm is 7-2. 33 years old, currently sitting at about plus 180. She's 5'7" with the 71-inch reach. So these girls are the same size. I'll do the same thing. Yeon Kim boxes. She throws really good combinations. Really good feints, movement. She's pretty fast. And she likes to piece girls up and just throw a ton of volume. And she don't hit them with a lot of it, but she does make a lot of noises and throw a ton of volume. So it looks like she's doing stuff. But that's about all she does. She don't throw too many leg kicks. She's not really a grappler. She can be grappled. Mandy Bohm, she's supposed to be like a Muay Thai world champion. I don't see it. She's slow. She's long. She's slow. Her grappling's not all that good. She's really not all that good. And you can tell because she lost to Victoria Leonardo, who's probably the worst girl fighter in the flyweight division in the UFC. And she got pieced up by her. I'm taking Yeon Kim. I'm going to say that, you know, this fight stays standing. Neither girl has good grappling, offensive or defensive. And I'm going to say that Yeon Kim's able to just land more strikes, you know, more volume, and she's going to be faster and be able to get to the target faster. But I'm not going to be betting that fight. I'm staying far away from that fight. Next fight is farther up the card, but it's what I got on here. We got Matt Brown versus Court Mcgee. One second. There, I muted it so you guys don't have to hear me drink. But I get thirsty, man, talking all this time in a row like this. This is a Legends fight. You got Matt Brown, who is 23-19. He's currently sitting at about plus 180, 42 years old in 4 months. 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. Court Mcgee is 21-11, currently sitting at minus 220, 38 years old, 5'11 with a 75.5-inch reach. So they're pretty much about the same height, same reach. Matt Brown, man, I don't know what to expect because he got really tired within like 3/4 of the first round in his last fight in Columbus. I was at that fight, and he still fought through it tough with Bryan Barberena because he was able to take him down because Barberena can't stop a takedown, save his life. But like, it's been a whole nother year and a couple months since then, man. I can't imagine it's been any better on his body. But Matt Brown is good, man. He's got good striking, good awkward Muay Thai striking with power. Throws powerful leg kicks. He has really good elbows in the clinch. He's got pretty decent offensive wrestling, man. His defensive wrestling is not good, but he has power body and leg kicks. But I feel like as he's getting older, man, some of his power is leaving. Because even against Barberena, that's why he had to wrestle so much, because his striking just wasn't doing it. Dude is super tough and durable. But like I said, man, he slows down quick. He's only had about 6 fights in 6 years, 42 and a half years old, and he's got this bad defensive wrestling, and that it's just not going to be a good look against a guy like Court Mcgee, man, because Court Mcgee, yeah, he got flatlined in his last fight against Jeremiah Wells, man. That was terrible. He did get flatlined. That was about pretty much a year ago. But before that, he was looking good against Claudio Silva and Ramiz Brahimaj when he used his grappling, man, really started using his wrestling, his cardio, and his strength. And it looked like he got in really, really good shape, and he was in really good shape for the Wells fight. That actually gives me more confidence in this fight because I'm leaning Court Mcgee, and I think he's worth betting. His line's going way up now, but I do think that he's going to use the grappling. And the main reason is after you get knocked out like that, why would you want to stand out in range and in space and throw shots with Matt Brown when you can just go out and grapple him and get the win and maybe get another fight in your career? You know, I like the 4 years younger. Court Mcgee, outside of that, getting knocked out by Wells, you know, he's got 32 fights. He's only been finished 2 times. 2 KO losses in that whole time, and the other one's against Ponzinibbio, I think, back in the day. Where was it? Yeah, Ponzinibbio got him, which Ponzinibbio, before he had his blood disorder and all that, was a bad mofo. That dude was going to be fighting for a championship and had a chance to be the world champion, to be honest. A lot of people just don't know about that. But Court Mcgee, dude, like I said, good wrestling. He'll get guys up against the cage, smash them up against the cage, chain wrestle, dirty box. And I think he's going to be able to land takedowns on Matt Brown. I think he's going to be able to control him and beat him up on the ground. And I think after one round of that, Matt Brown is going to be super tired, you know, and gassed out. He's not going to be near as dangerous. And I think Court Mcgee will be able to wrestle him and beat him up from there on out. I don't think he finishes him. Court Mcgee, I don't think he's ever finished anybody in the UFC, to be honest. I don't think he has, dude. Wait, right there's an arm triangle. Rear naked choke. Oh, them are all on. Yeah. He's got that one right there. But other than that, dude, other than them 2, look at that. That's crazy. Other than them 2 knockouts, every fight he's ever fought in, win or loss, was decision. Wow. Out of all of them, going all the way back to 2010. So his only finish is Ryan Jensen. That's the only finish in the UFC in 2010. So he hasn't had one in 13 years, and he's been finished twice since then. So he's super tough, man. But I'm taking Court Mcgee. I do think that he's going to use his wrestling in this, and he's going to use his cardio and his strength to get the 43-year-old Matt Brown down and be able to win this fight, man, and dominate it. You know, the first round could be hairy, but after that, he's got him. Next fight is in the men's 155-pound division. This is another makeup fight where they were scheduled to fight a couple weeks ago. Pete Rodriguez had a weight-cutting issue, and now they're doing it again at 155. Natan Levy, 8-1, currently sitting at minus 295. He's 31 years old, 5'9", with a 72-inch reach. Pete Rodriguez, 5-1, currently sitting at plus 230. He's 26 years old, 5'9", with a 73-inch reach. So they're same height. Pete Rodriguez has 1 inch of reach. Natan Levy, man, this dude's weird, man. He's got really nice, like, karate style striking. He's got powerful body kicks, pretty decent punches and punching power, but he doesn't finish anybody, man. He had Valdez hurt a lot last fight, but everybody gets Valdez hurt a lot. Had Breeden hurt a couple times in that fight, but ended up getting beat up in the 3rd round because he gassed out himself, which he did against Rafa Garcia. That's how Rafa Garcia got that win. But other than that, man, look, this dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of his last 7 fights have gone to decision. So he seems dangerous, but he's not. But he does have good striking. He's got pretty good wrestling. I mean, it's not the most technical, but he'll just goon guys because he's real physically strong for this division. He's got a powerful left body kick, good wrestling, pretty good jiu-jitsu, pretty good ground and pound, but he can be hit, he can be hurt, and he can be dropped, man. And in that third round, he usually slows down. That's what he did against Valdez. That's what he's done against everybody, but he's breeding really bad, but he still ends up getting the win. And he's pretty well rounded. I just don't know what to make of him. I don't know if he's good. And Pete Rodriguez coming in, man. What do we know about this guy either, man? He came in and fought one of the toughest dudes in the world and got knocked out, and then he beat up one of the weakest dudes in the world, Mike Jackson. So what can we tell? We can tell he can get knocked out by the best in the world, and he can beat the shit out of the worst. And Mike Jackson is the worst. That dude is terrible on Twitter, terrible everywhere. But Pete Rodriguez, man, good boxing. And it's weird, too, because he's got a bunch of amateur fights. If you look down here, man, he had the same thing, knocking people out in the first round. He had a decision loss there. But other than that, first round knockouts, he got submitted by this dude in the first round. Other than that, second round knockout right there. But he's got good striking. He's got fast hands. You've seen against Mike Jackson. He has power. He has power in both hands. We just don't really know what his grappling and his cardio is like because he doesn't go out of the first round. So it's either basically Pete Rodriguez in the first round or Natan Levy's probably going to submit him in that second or third. But like we said, Natan Levy doesn't submit or finish anybody, so he probably won't. So this is a very weird fight. If anything, I think all the value is on Pete Rodriguez. I'm picking Natan Levy to win by second or third round sub, but I think the value is on Pete Rodriguez because I don't think Natan Levy's all that good. And if Pete Rodriguez ends up being pretty good, we just don't think he's that good because he beat Mike Jackson and got beat up by freaking Della Maddalena on 5 days' notice at 170. Who knows, man? I'd stay away from this fight, just watch it as a fan and just see what happens. But I'm going to take Levy by second or third round. Sub or decision, but I have no confidence in that fight. Next fight's in the men's heavyweight division. This is another makeup fight. We got Karl Williams versus Chase Sherman. Karl Williams is 8-1, currently sitting at -420, 33 years old, 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. Chase Sherman's 16-11. Yeah, you heard that. That's terrible. 16-11. Plus 310. He's 33 years old, 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. So Sherman with the inch of height, Karl with the inch of reach. Karl Williams, this dude looked good on the Contender Series, fought a Penn State wrestler, was able to out-wrestle him the whole time, out-cardio him, out-tough him. I think the guy landed one punch on him. Then he came into the UFC and I fought Bretsky. I believe it was on short notice. But I believe it was on short notice, but he came in and was able to beat Bretsky up for all 3 rounds, showed good cardio, showed good wrestling, chain wrestling, showed a little bit of power in that second round. He came out and hit Bretsky with some big shots and then threw him across the ring. Shows really good power. He's got pretty decent boxing. I like that he pushes a really, really high pace, and that's going to come in handy in this fight. But very physically strong and explosive. He's got crazy cardio, crazy wrestling pace where he might shoot 25 takedowns in a fight. It's what it seemed like he did last time against Bretsky. And the thing is, though, Bretsky actually showed pretty good jiu-jitsu, man. He was able to get back up a whole bunch, was able to sweep and scramble, wasn't accepting position. But, man, that's what Chase Sherman's gonna do because when he gets taken to the ground, he accepts position. I haven't seen him get up off the ground. Good boxing. He's got powerful leg kicks. He's got good forward pressure, good striking volume. He's really tough, really durable, but like he doesn't move his head and he takes big shots all fight, and that makes him slow down by the second and third round. And then he's a stationary target where he gets beat up because he doesn't move his head or his body. I don't know if that's going to happen here because I think Karl Williams is just going to take him down and smother him. But I don't know if Williams finishes him because Williams hasn't been finishing really anybody either. It's another weird thing. He's got 8 wins and he's got 5 decisions in his last. Let's see, 4 out of his last 5 have gone to decision. He's the Contender Series in the UFC fight against Bretsky. So I'm going to take Karl Williams. I think that if these other dudes could survive with them, I think Chase Sherman can survive with them. So give me Karl Williams, and I'm going to take him by decision. And I think that him and Ulberg as a parlay together is a really safe, easy parlay. Next fight is in the men's welterweight division. We got Tim Means versus Alex Morono. Tim Means is 32, 14-1, currently sitting at plus 180. He's 39 years old, 6'2" with the 75-inch reach. Alex Morono is 22-8, currently sitting at about minus 220. He's 32 years old, 5'11" with the 72-inch reach. And Tim Means, man, he's a great fighter. He's really well-rounded. He's 30 years old, but he's got nice southpaw striking. He's got pretty good offensive and defensive wrestling. He's got a little bit of power in his left hand, but he's just very tough and durable. He's good, dirty boxing clinch. His nickname's the Dirty Bird. Good leg and body kicks. He's big for the division. He's got pretty good cardio even at his age, but man, he's not very durable anymore. He got dropped like 2 or 3 times with Max Griffin. Kevin Holland dropped him a couple times. First round, didn't finish him, and then dropped him and choked him out in the second round. He was Daniel Rodriguez dropped him, hurt him, choked him out. Just a lot of people, dude. Nico Price was finished him lately. He's just been getting dropped in a lot of his fights. And he's coming in against a dude that's very well-rounded, and Alex Moreno, who's, 7 years younger than him. Alex Moreno looked phenomenal against Ponzinibbio on short notice until he got knocked out in the third round. But a very well-rounded fighter himself. I like that he's going to be the faster fighter by far here, throwing the straighter shots and getting to the target quick, man, and fast. And he's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got pretty good offensive and defensive wrestling. He doesn't really use it that much. He likes to wrestle or strike, but he can use it. He's seen against Semmelsberger. He mixed in some takedowns. But he's got some good power in his hands, man. And he doesn't finish too many people. You see, he's gone to 4 out of his last 5 wins have been via decision, but he's fighting pretty tough people. But he's just well-rounded. He's got good cardio, good toughness, and good volume. And I'm going to take him to beat Tim Means here. I think that he's going to land some big punches and be able to knock him down, because he knocked Ponzi down the first round, the second round, and then had him hurt in the third round before he got knocked out. And I don't think Tim Means is knocking out Alex Morono. So I'm going to take Alex Morono. He could finish him because, like I said, Tim Means has been getting rocked so many times lately and getting hurt. And Alex Morono has decent power, but I'm going to take him by decision. I'll be looking at the over 2.5, but that's sketchy, man. I do think Morono actually does have a good chance to finish it. Next fight's in the men's welterweight division. We got Daniel Rodriguez versus Ian Garry. Daniel Rodriguez is 17-3. Currently sitting at plus 225. He's 36 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Machado Garry is currently sitting at minus 275, 25 years old. He's 11 years younger, 6'3" with a 74-inch reach. So he's 2 inches taller, same height or same reach. Daniel Rodriguez, man, 36 years old. He's been fighting a little more lately, but he was off for a little bit. But he's just got really good boxing, man. Excellent boxing, southpaw boxing. He's got a lot of volume. He's got good power in both of his hands. He's got pretty good offensive and defensive wrestling. He got tired against Mcgee and ended up getting choked out, but Mcgee pushes a crazy pace. Daniel Rodriguez always coming forward, always throwing the jab out there, setting his range, picking at guys, and then hitting them with that straight left right down the pipe. Just really good boxing, very tough, very durable. It just depends which Rodriguez, if we get the guy that was out of shape against Jing Liang, or the guy that was in shape against Neil Magny and all of his other opponents. He's a very tough fighter, man, a very good skill, and he's super tough, and he's got the good boxing. He's definitely the best opponent that Ian Garry's fought by a mile. Ian Garry, man, I really like his style. He's got the long kickboxing style. He's very accurate. He's got really good movement. You seen his last fight against Kenan Song. He did get caught, man. He got hurt really bad in that fight, and he almost got finished. But he's got excellent kickboxing. He's got really good kick game with both legs, to the body, to the head, to the legs, man. His front kicks, teep kicks, everything. Striking head movement is good. Striking defense is good. He did have like his first fight against Jordan Williams where he was getting pieced up in that fight and then in the first round, but it was his first fight in the UFC, debut jitters, whatever, and then hit him with the counter right, knocked him out. Had 2 boring fights with Darian Reeks and then Gabe Green, but did what he had to do to win and stay clean. And then Kenan Song, like I said, he got hurt and then got back up in the second round and third round and took over, throwing powerful leg kicks, man, and then ended up hitting him with some big shots upstairs. But he's got great head movement. His boxing's nice. He's very tough. He's got excellent cardio. He proved it in the Gabe Green fight. This is going to be a really, really, really good fight, man. And I'm actually going to lean Ian Garry by decision, but I think all the values on Daniel Rodriguez, man, at like plus 225, it makes you want to throw a little bit on him. You throw 1.5 units, you can win 3.5 units because I think he really does have a chance. But Ian Garry, man, I think that he can beat him up with leg kicks. Daniel Rodriguez is heavy on that front leg because he's boxer. So I think Ian Garry's going to be able to land some powerful leg kicks, man, and just skirt around the outside. And when Daniel Rodriguez does come in, he's going to be able to counter him with combination shots. But he's not a one-shot knockout guy, so I don't expect him to finish Rodriguez at all. But I expect this to be a really good fight. But give me Ian Garry by decision. I might be looking at betting that. It's going to be a really good fight. Next fight. Sorry. What's going on here? Next fight is co-main event. We have Anthony Smith versus Johnny Walker. Anthony Smith is 36 and 17, currently sitting at minus 105, 34 years old, 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. Johnny Walker, 20 and 7, currently sitting at minus 115, 31 years old, 6'6" with an 82-inch reach. These dudes are both big. You see Johnny Walker's 2 inches taller. He's going to have 6 inches of reach. Anthony Smith, just a well-rounded vet, very well-rounded, good. He's got black belt in jiu-jitsu. Not the best offensive or defensive wrestling. He can definitely be taken down, but on the mat, he's pretty good. You know, choked out Devin Clark, triangle choked him as soon as he took him down. But he's good on top. He threw up some arm bars against Ryan Spann too, and ended up getting him out of there with a rear naked choke. But he's got good striking too. You seen this Spann fight? He was able to hurt him with some big shots, and before he rear naked choked him out. Then he was able to hit Jimmy Crute with powerful leg kicks to get him out of there. But he's like off and on. Like he comes in against Glover Teixeira and Ratzik, looks terrible, gets beat up. Doesn't really look terrible, but they just fought the good game plan. Glover took him down, beat the crap out of him. Ratzik took him down and just held him there. But then he went on that 3-fight win streak where he looked good and fighting somebody like Ryan Spann. If you remember when Ryan Spann fought Johnny Walker, that was a crazy back and forth fight where Walker was hurt really bad twice before coming back and hitting a glass jaw Ryan Spann and getting the win. But then he had a bad fight against Ankalaev, which Ankalaev tore his legs up and he hurt his ankle or whatever. But super tough, super very well-rounded guy. And then you got Johnny Walker, who's just an explosive, crazy, wild dude, man, that is 6'6", throws all kinds of spinning stuff. His striking is awkward and crazy, but he throws it all long and with power. He's got powerful offensive and defensive wrestling in BJJ. And I say that because when people try to take him down, he just uses all his strength to keep standing or to explode back up to his feet. And he does have pretty good offensive and defensive wrestling for that first round, but he will slow down, that's for sure. He's got really nice spinning elbows, spinning back fists, flying knees. You see him, he's got knockouts with all that stuff. He's had an up and down career in the UFC where he came in and was lighting up people like Ledet, Roundtree, Serkinov, but then was taken out by Corey Anderson and Nikita Krylov, who he hit Nikita Krylov. I went back and watched that fight with a crazy spinning back fist, and Krylov just eats it and then just keeps going shooting for takedowns. It was crazy, but he could have went on a 5-fight losing streak because Spann had him hurt really bad way before he ever ended up hurting Spann back with the elbows because Spann shoots in them lazy takedowns and he got hit with them elbows on the cage. But this is going to be a wild and crazy fight. And I thought that I would be on Johnny Walker going into Tate, but I think with Tate, man, I think Anthony Smith's striking's more crisp, and I think Anthony Smith's more durable, dude. Like he's had a lot of good fights with a lot of tough people, and I think Johnny Walker gets hit on the chin versus pretty much anybody and gets hurt and wobbled. And Anthony Smith showed against somebody like he never got hurt against Ryan Spann, but was able to every time he touched him, he hurt him, put him on wobbly legs, was able to take him down, beat him up until he ended up choking him out. And I actually think he's going to be able to do that here. And I don't think I'm going to get any money behind it, but I do think that Anthony Smith's going to be able to get this win. I do. I think they're like Johnny Walker is very dynamic and throws crazy strikes, but Anthony Smith's been in there with a lot of people, and I do think his striking is going to be better. And I think that he's going to hit the chin of Johnny Walker, which is way more suspect than Anthony Smith's chin. It's like we haven't seen that many people just go out there and just beat Anthony Smith down and knock him out with punches. You know what I mean? Ankalaev, he was having a good fight. The first round was back and forth, but like Ratchik, Glover had to take him down and fight with him forever before he was able to finally ground and pound him. I mean, Anthony Smith was handing his teeth out and stuff, but since he's been up at 205 because the Santos fight was at middleweight, he hasn't been getting finished like that. Look, he hasn't gotten finished at 205 except Glover and then that fight with Magomed. So I'm going to take Anthony Smith to be the more durable guy. And to get that win here, to be honest, I think that these dudes are going to go at it. I do favor that under 1.5, and I would like to see what it's going to be Anthony Smith inside the distance or something like that. Main event time, and this is very easy to break down. Jairzenho Rozenstruik, 13-4, currently sitting at plus 400, 35 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Jailton Almeida, 18-2, currently sitting at minus 550, 31 years old, 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. So Almeida's going to be 1 inch taller with 1 inch of reach. Biggie boy, man, good kickboxing. He really is just a boxer, but I guess he can throw some kicks. But he's got a powerful jab, powerful left hook, really powerful right hand. You see he knocked Dawkins out quick as soon as he touched him in 21 seconds. KO power in both hands, though. His jab, like I said, and left hook are sick. Overhand right and cross, deadly. KO'd his last 6 wins. He's got kind of bad takedown defense, but he's got a decent get-up game. You've seen he was able to survive against Curtis Blades and put up a good fight there and go the distance with him. But he's fighting Jailton Almeida here, and he's going to be fighting different because, like Rozenstruik, like I said, he was taken down by Alistair Overeem. He was taken down by Curtis Blades. I believe them are the only two that really. I mean, Cyril Gane took him down, but he didn't just hold him down and use it to beat him up. So it was basically, Blades, and let's see. God took him down, but he survived with Blades and he survived with Overeem on the ground, but they're different type of fighter definitely than what Jailton's going to do, because Jailton's going to take him down and he's going to beat him up, and he's got way better jiu-jitsu than them guys. So when he's going to go to put Jairzenho in subs, what Jailton's going to do, what he's done every single fight in the UFC, you know, he's finished everybody. His last fight went a little over 1.5, but the ones before that are all in the first round. He comes out, he throws a front kick to the face and shoots in within about the first 10 seconds. And that's what he does. And then he wrestles and he grapples for the whole fight. And people cannot do nothing about it. This dude is so physically strong, man. And just like, he's really good. He's got good technique, good blast double, physically strong. It looks like he has decent striking. We just don't get to see it. And I don't know if we need to. If you're that good at wrestling and that good at jiu-jitsu and ground and pound, what do you need? But I do think that he gets Jairzenho down, and I think that he starts pounding him out with shots. Now, the real thing is, how do we think he's going to get the finish? And I know a lot of people's going to be on the TKO, but I actually called for the ground and pound with Shamil, and I called for the rear naked choke with Turkaloo and Porter. Here's the difference, because the way you got to figure these ones out for me is like Jairzenho Rozenstruik. Like, I knew Shamil was weak, so when he starts getting ground and pound, he'll just give it up, go over, give up, let you ground and pound him out. Jairzenho is not going to do that. If you're ground and pounding him, you're going to keep ground and pounding him. He's going to find a way to get out of that, because he's not just going to roll over and give up. And that's when he's going to open up something for the submission. So I'm going to be betting. I feel like I'm going to bet Jailton Almeida, and I'm going to bet him by submission. I might just go inside the distance if it's a decent enough price, but I'm sure it's not going to be. So I think it's actually going to be a submission and not a ground and pound, because I don't think that Biggie Boy's going to lay there and let him ground and pound. If he starts getting ground and pound too much, he's going to roll, try to do something else, and that's when he's going to get rear naked choke. So give me Jailton Almeida by rear naked choke, and I think it's going to be a crazy little fight for a while it lasts, you know. Thank you, everybody, for checking out my video, supporting my channel, like and subscribing, doing all that. We'll be live. I think we're going to go live on Friday night this week, because Johnny has some stuff to do. But check us out for that. But I appreciate everybody checking my stuff out, and I will see you guys later, man. See you guys for the next card.